I want to talk about the real reason why MatPat left YouTube. Before we get started, this is something that I wrote in the spur of the moment, but something that I'm really passionate about. I really want to get this video out as soon as possible, so apologies ahead of time if it seems like I am reading the script. But I am a tech YouTuber, and I've watched YouTube since pretty much its inception, starting from Ryan Higa, PewDiePie, all the way up to Mr. Beast now. Now, recently, a lot of YouTubers have talked about retiring or quitting YouTube, and there's been a lot of discourse from Moist Critical, Trey Yates, and Mogul Mill, and I've taken a look at all of them. After watching those videos, there's two things I agree with, and one thing I disagree with them about. Let's dive right in. I agree with them that the main problem is that YouTube's algorithm pigeonholes channels into specific niches. I do see some truth in this. Take game theory, various Minecraft creators, Tom Scott or Germa that you've heard recently. They all discovered a formula that resonates with their audience. But here's the catch. By the time you've produced, say, the 800th episode in that same style, you're hit with two critical questions. Number one, do the views still hold the same value for me? And number two, am I still passionate about the subject that I'm talking about? And even some of the YouTubers that I commonly watch, there is evidence of this trend. So take, for example, Toast's departure from Among Us back in the COVID days, or some of the tech vloggers who eventually phased out of a day in the life videos. There just reaches a point where your creativity spark for this particular format dims under the repetitive nature of this content. So what's the essential takeaway? It's the paradox of success on YouTube. The very niche that brings a creator fame and recognition could also become their creative straitjacket, leading to a lack of fulfillment and ultimately a desire for change, or in many cases we see today, retirement. So what inevitably happens when creators hit this plateau? I agree with Mogul Mill when they say that it's not necessarily a retirement, but rather they are going into new endeavors. Take Tom Scott, for instance. He's expanding into his podcast and newsletters, continuing working on those while taking a break from his main channel. Similarly, Disguised Toast moved away from Among Us content, but continues to produce content on his main channel, albeit with a different focus and a smaller viewership. And then there's Ryan Higa, who was once one of the biggest YouTubers in the world, who transitioned from regular uploads on his main channel to streaming on a smaller scale in Twitch and also posting on Higa TV. I think the crux of this issue is the golden handcuffs phenomenon. I feel like we see this in traditional jobs as well, but most people can't quit from their day job, so they eventually burn out and maybe switch to a different company. They're stuck in roles that no longer fulfill them because the financial incentives are too significant to relinquish, hence the golden handcuffs. YouTube, however, offers a unique flexibility for creators. Many creators have the financial freedom to step back from their niche. They can afford to take some risks and pursue passions that might not be as lucrative, but offer personal satisfaction. And that's why we see these shifts, not as a retreat, not as a retirement, but as a bold move towards something completely new and something more personally fulfilling for them. So those are the two things I agree with. However, I want to disagree with one thing that has been mentioned, which is that it is the YouTube algorithm which is forcing us into a niche. I actually disagree with this, and hear me out. This might be controversial, but I believe when we first start, we explore a lot. What's the analogy? We kind of just are throwing noodles onto the wall and we're trying to see what sticks, right? So we're exploring a ton. And finally, we find a format that sticks, like these day in life videos or Minecraft Top 5 or other popular formats. YouTube, in my opinion, doesn't actually care about niche. It just cares about if people watch your video or not. So eventually what happens is we find a video format that works, and it forces us into a niche because we don't actually understand what actually made this video viral. And that's super understandable. It's kind of striking lightning in a bottle. It's like, how do you figure out what made this video go ultra viral, and how do you create new video formats that go just as viral as what made you popular? It seems impossible, right? However, I think there is one YouTuber that has managed to go viral while also exploring and making new content. And that person is Mr. Beast. Now hear me out. I know what most of you are thinking. He does use formulaic content. For example, the $1 to $100 million cars, houses, etc., hotels. But if you look back on his old videos, his content has evolved like crazy. He spent a ton of time making gaming videos, and then he did some analysis videos, and then he did some crazy challenges, and then he started donating money to streamers, which worked. Then he did these crazy circle challenges with his friends. Then he started doing high production videos like Squid Game, which became super unique, and then followed that up with doing the Willy Wonka video. So his content has evolved like crazy. And I think his idea of constant evolution comes from the fact that he had time to explore as a small YouTuber. He made thousands of videos before he got his first viral hit. And I think this is different from a lot of YouTubers who became big. And the reason it's different is he had so much time to explore the YouTube algorithm, explore thumbnails, explore what works because he was a small YouTuber for so long. And this goes back to what we were mentioning earlier, that once you become big, you kind of lose that flexibility to explore. So the point I'm trying to make is that all of this exploration led him to have like a specific idea and framework of what makes videos go viral. And this allows him to explore while being confident that the video will still do well. So what can we learn from Mr. Beast? It's that success on YouTube, despite there being an algorithm, it doesn't have to be you being pigeonholed into a specific niche. He demonstrates that with the right understanding of audience engagement, a knack for innovation, efficient operations, average view duration, that a creator can not only succeed, but also continuously explore as well. Mr. Beast hasn't just found a formula for going viral. He's crafted a blueprint for sustainable, diverse, and ever-evolving content creation. So I know there's a lot of doom and gloom about potential YouTubers retiring, but as we look into the future, I see a trend of increasingly savvy YouTubers. Each generation is becoming more adept, more innovative, and if you think about it, reflecting on the early days, it's really remarkable how far we've come. I remember when fans would criticize creators like Ryan Higa for even mentioning a product or doing a brand deal because we felt that they were selling out. But we've evolved since then. Now YouTubers learned to embrace and to innovate with brand partnerships, and they've even moved on from simple endorsements to creating their own products. I really want to say to those who are hesitant or worried about starting or continuing their YouTube journey, I want to offer this reassurance. Don't be afraid. The key to success on this platform has always been and will continue to be making the best videos possible and a willingness to innovate and explore. Stay curious, stay creative, and you'll find your way to success on YouTube. The possibilities are endless, and the future is bright for anybody who is ready to embrace change and make their mark.